And then through him, we started with traffic fines. Clients that had enforcement orders against their name, and we'll get to the meaning of an enforcement order and how it happens. And we work from the official sources, not we don't deal with
not through a third party of another third party directly.
I needed to go into one of these security estates one day, and the guards at the gate said, "Sorry, you can't come in. Your car license has expired." The lady who actually won the court case against Orto and RTIA in 2016 started working with her, and then we decided to go.
Thank you very much, Willem, for making it today. I've really been wanting to speak to you for quite some time. I mean, this topic is, I think most people in the world, in South Africa especially, can relate to this topic and a whole lot of topics within this. What is your business name or company name?
Peter, thanks for inviting me to do this. It's great to be able to sit and talk about the things that are important and in some cases very urgent. And thank you for that. So our umbrella name is Hassle-Free. So we have hassle-free.license, which deals with vehicle license renewals. We have an online platform to do that. So I can literally sit 11 o'clock tonight in my bed and on my iPad do your vehicle license renewal, and 5-6 days later it gets delivered to your door. Don't need paperwork, don't need all the schlep, no queues, no issues, no frustrations, gets done. Then we have hassle-free.fines. There we deal with traffic fines, and that's probably what we're going to be discussing more than anything else today, are the traffic fines, and especially with the changes that's happening at the moment that are planned for the rest of this year and next year, as far as traffic fines are concerned. And then we have hassle-free.identification, where we assist clients with making bookings for driving license card renewals in Gauteng at the moment. It's not rolled out in the rest or the other provinces as yet. It will come later on. IDs and passports at the bank, international driving permits. So we assist our clients with all of that.
Oh, wow. That's quite, that's a valuable magic toolbox over there of services. So how did you get started with this? What drove you to get this going?
You know, experience. I needed to go into one of these security estates one day, and the guards at the gate said, "Sorry, you can't come in. Your car license has expired." I said, "Well, don't talk nonsense to me. I know when my car license has expired." And truth, Bob, it expired 4 months ago.
Oh, geez.
And what ticked me off more than anything else is the 4 months that I was in arrears cost me 1 year's license, because the penalties for vehicle licenses that are in arrears is 10% of the annual license fee, plus that 1 month that's passed, that license fee as well. So it's about 18% of the annual license fee that gets added to your annual license fee, because you pay in advance for 12 months. So very quickly, 18% in 4 months is almost 80% that you pay just to get your license renewal. So that's where it started. And then I met a guy who did online renewals, and we started working with him. And then through him, we started with traffic fines. Clients that had enforcement orders against their name, and we'll get to the meaning of an enforcement order and how it happens. But enforcement order blocks the license renewal, or the license disc to be issued. Your license fee is paid, your license fees are paid up to date, but you don't get a disc. So we started working with that. And all of this essentially came to assisting people with the frustrations of daily life, or vehicle ownership, or using a vehicle. So initially, we worked with these people and worked with other people to assist with traffic fines and with the licenses. And as time progressed, we met the right people at RTMC. So we have a contract with RTMC to use their online platform to do the license renewals through them.
Okay, so you connected there onto the system?
Directly on the RTMC system. I signed a contract about this thick
Okay.
to say that I wouldn't just do any license because I want to.
Right, yeah.
I need to have a copy of your ID and a copy of or a photo of the license disc at least.
Okay.
That I know where I'm doing the right license, the right person's license. That I don't. So we stay away from doing anything untoward or underhand.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
With the traffic fines as well, met someone who, the lady who actually won the court case against Orta and RTIA in 2016.
Right.
Started working with her, and then we decided to go our own way. And so that's where Traffic Fine Manager comes from, and that's the company name that deals with the traffic fines.
Okay.
And then the company that deals with the licenses, Orta Managed.
Right. Okay.
So name is not 100% correct as far as what we do, but that's what we deal with.
All right, that's awesome. Yeah, no, you've got some proper silos going on there. And yeah, it's much needed. I mean, I also had a outstanding, I needed to do a renewal of a driver's license. I need to quickly fly at some point some months ago and all of that. I needed to get a license disc done and everything. So I know all of those pains that a person goes through. And I actually did give up. I went in and I stood in those queues, and I tell you what, some of the things, I like to think that everyone's trying their best, right? And everyone lives on earth going through things that we experience every day.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't handle things as well as we want to and all of that. And I was just in the wrong seat, literally. Instead of sitting in that seat, I was in this seat, and that caused me to wait an additional 2 hours.
Oh, no.
I got no eye contact.
Yeah.
I got no, can I help you? And it was just like, wow. When I found out, I thought, but hold on, I've been there for like 2 hours, and no one said, listen, you're in the wrong seat or what have you. So I thought, maybe someone was having a bad day.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So that's the kind of frustrations that we take off your shoulders.
Right.
Exactly.
And
make your life hassle free, and that's where the name comes from.
Right.
A few less hassles in your life that you have to deal with on a daily basis. So
well, I tell you what, you got me. I'm there.
Pass it on to me, and we'll take care of it. And the documents are delivered, or the proofs are delivered. If it's traffic fines, that depending on what we needed to do, whether it's a payment or whether it's a cancellation or whatever it is that we. Here's the proof it's done. You can go and check. There's the screenshot from the Orta, the official Orta website.
Okay,
we'll chat about that as well. There are a number of companies out there that deals with traffic fines, but they never update their systems. They never update their data. So just spoke to someone on my way here, and her husband paid a fine through one of the official portals, received an email from this other company, and paid it again, not realizing that they've actually paid it now paid it twice.
Okay.
So
So I see something that you're doing differently is that you actually update. You get the updates.
And we work from the official sources, not we don't deal with
not through a third party of another third party directly.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's great. So can you give me like a 3-step process that people can actually connect with you?
The easiest is either an email or a WhatsApp. Telephone call, obviously, as well.
Right.
If I'm busy with a client, or I'm not in a position to talk like now.
Right.
If someone calls me now, I won't be able to answer the phone call.
Right.
But phone call is probably easier, just to have that initial discussion, or an email.
That's it. Yeah, I kind of like that as well.
Yeah.
Because I think it helps to explain the situation. I've actually seen a lot of Googled phrases.
Yeah.
Where it's like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Where people
a
are
lot
like,
of jargon.
How do I dispute? I wasn't driving.
Yes.
And they're saying this and that. It's like all of that's in the Google search bar. Right. You know what I mean? And you can see like one, and probably a lot of people share the same frustration.
So while we're on the topic of how do I nominate a driver, I was not driving, someone else was driving the vehicle. There's a specific process that has to be followed.
Okay.
And at the moment, currently we're dealing with 2 traffic fine laws in South Africa.
Okay.
at the moment. So we're dealing Orto, Johannesburg Metro Police Jurisdiction, and Tshwane Metro Police Jurisdiction fall under Orto. And the rest of the country, the rest of Gauteng fall under the Criminal Procedure Act.
Okay.
So, and different set of regulations that governs how the acts are enforced. So with Orto, I really like Orto because I can go onto the Orto website, the official website,
Right.
and I can review all your fines. So what is, a lot of people won't like it, but every Orto fine that was issued to you since 2008 are visible on the Orto website.
Okay.
So it may show that it's paid, it may show that it's cancelled, or whatever the status is, it will be there. So
Okay.
I can tell you, go and have a look, you can see what happened with your fine. So if I do a submission of a driver nomination, it'll sit in a driver nomination status until it is finalized. So it'll show pending or it'll show finalized.
Okay.
If it's a cancellation or a representation that we've done for whatever reasons to cancel the fine, it'll show a pending status until that fine is processed, and then it'll say cancelled, or it'll revert back to infringement notice or courtesy letter status.
Okay.
If it is a revocation of an enforcement order, it'll show as revocation. So you can see exactly, I've done what I said I will do.
Yes,
now we're
right.
just waiting for them to finish the process on their side. Talking of infringement notice, courtesy letter, enforcement orders, those are the statuses for Orto fines. If it is a non-Orto fine, you just have a notice or a notice number, or it's what we call a notice.
Okay.
It's if I remember correctly, Section 54 infringement notice that was issued by the Traffic Authority.
Okay.
And they will keep on sending that to you. In terms of the National Road Traffic Act, it's valid for 30 days. They have to reissue it every 30 days and resend it to you every 30 days.
Okay.
And it's only they can only do that for 18 months. Then they must either issue a summons for you to appear in court, or they must cancel it.
Okay.
Orto fines never gets cancelled on its own from the Orto side.
Okay.
You have to submit the representation for that. So there's 3 statuses on Orto fines. Infringement notice, that is, you drove too fast 2 weeks ago, now you received the notice in your post or via secure mail. Under the new regulations, they can send you an SMS or an email or a WhatsApp as well and say you have a traffic fine.
Okay.
10 days after they gave it to post office, 10 days after they sent the electronic notification, it is deemed that you have received your fine. So irrespective of whether you go and collect it, whether you throw away the notice, doesn't matter, you've received it.
Right, yeah.
You are liable to pay the fine.
Okay, like the Americans, you've been served.
Something like that. And then 32 days in the first 10-day delivery period. So they gave it to post office or they sent you the electronic notification.
Right.
There's a 10-day delivery period and then the 32 days to pay it, in which you automatically get 50% discount in the first 32 days start.
Okay, right.
Then they must issue a courtesy letter. That's the second status. Your discount falls away. The courtesy letter has a cost of 60 Rand at the moment. Under the new regulations, it will be 100 Rand.
Okay.
10-day delivery period, 32 days to pay it. And then they must issue an enforcement order, which attracts another 60 Rand fee plus the cost of the fine. An enforcement order blocks that vehicle license renewal and your driving license card renewal.
Okay.
So if it's not paid.
Sure.
So a lot of people want to renew driving license card, you need to go and pay the fines first.
Yes.
So we can go beforehand and make sure that there are no fines, or if there are fines, get them paid if we cannot do a representation or a revocation. And timeframes are important because to do a representation, there's a 32-day waiting period. To do a revocation, there's a 32-day waiting period for that to be finalized on their side. And sometimes we've seen it takes up to 90 days for that to be finalized on the side of RTIA.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. So to get this right here, just help me, right? If, for example, I need to renew my license or license disc or something like that, I can actually give you a call and say, this is the scenario, I need to do renewal, or I just want to make sure that everything's above board, my fines and all that I have nothing outstanding, and you'll basically handle all of that, you and your team?
Yeah, so we can and we will check what fines are outstanding.
Okay.
That needs to be addressed before we then obviously can submit your license renewal as well.
Right.
So we can make the booking for you to go and do your driving license card. If it's the disc, we can do the renewal online, have it delivered to you, and tell you beforehand, you're going to have a problem because there's an enforcement order. Or what we find, especially with Cape Town, is they issue a summons for you to appear in court, but it never gets served on the correct address, so you don't know you need to appear in court. Then they issue a warrant of arrest, and the warrant of arrest goes with an admin mark on your ID, and that blocks everything.
Okay.
So that's a bit more serious. So we need to go and check, what fine is there? Is it a fine that's payable, or do you need to go down to Cape Town to go and appear in front of the prosecutor to see if they can do something with the fine to cycle it down, that you pay the fine so that the admin mark can be removed from your ID number. So we do that before I do your license. I will tell you, listen, there's a fine that's blocking your license. Let's sort out this fine first, because if I don't do that, then I'm going to do your license. You're going to receive a license page but no disc. And then you're going to come back to me and say, but why didn't you tell me?
Yeah.
So rather tell you up front, you know where you stand, and we can sort it out before we go. Otherwise, we do the license, you get the license document without a disc on it. Then you need to come back to me. I need to sort out your fine. Then I have to redo the license and resend it to you.
All of that.
And depending on, if it's a Gauteng license, it's not a problem to redo the license. But if it's a Cape Town license, I cannot redo it online. I have to physically go to the licensing office. Then I have to involve someone else to go to Cape Town to get that done. So it's also from a logistical, practical sense that we do it upfront. Upfront, this is what's going to happen if we don't do this and this and this, and you get your license disc, and that's all you want. You're legally on the road, your traffic fines are sorted out.
Exactly.
You don't have to worry about roadblocks and all of that. Once again, hassle-free.
This can take so much time in your life, I can imagine.
You mentioned sitting in the wrong seat for 2 hours.
Right. Give me a horror story.
If you're but just from a perspective, the cost. We charge for a licensed vehicle license renewal, 250 rand service fee, and there's 125 rand courier fee to get it delivered to you.
Okay.
So 375 rand. You spent 2 minutes to send me a photo of an ID and a photo of a disc.
Right.
And it's done. Compared to spending 3 hours, the time that it takes you to drive there,
and the frustration,
the time that you're sitting in the queue, the frustrations. If you spend 4 hours, in your scenario, you probably spend 4 hours to attempt to get it done, and you didn't even get it done.
And you can be sent away with not giving a second name.
Exactly.
That can happen.
So, what does that cost you? If I'm talking to you, Peter, how much did that 4 hours cost you in terms of lost revenue?
That's thousands of rands.
Unbillable. So my 375 rand is non-existent. Actually.
Exactly. If I have some proper meetings, proper things happening, I'm busy pitching, I'm busy with projects, all of that stuff. Just me not being available that day or something, and it pushes it out for later. That's it immediately. And then never mind that, it's a sentimental thing about... you could be sitting there and you kind of lose it. And you start pulling faces and you do the gestures. And I tell you, people get upset and you say things, you're going to regret it because, you understand you have bad days sometimes. They regret it, whatever. And you're sitting with a situation like, how did we get here?
And it's avoidable.
Exactly.
It's absolutely avoidable. And on top of that, if you go into that scenario, you're getting frustrated, you're getting angry, it stuffs up your whole day.
Exactly. And you don't want to conduct yourself like that.
Exactly.
You get so frustrated.
Yes.
So I think it's definitely the way to go. Do you service certain areas, regions? How does that work?
In terms of everything that we can do online is essentially the whole country. As far as traffic fines are concerned, slightly more difficult because not all traffic authorities have an online presence.
Right.
For instance, Mogale City, which is just here,
Yeah.
doesn't have an online presence whatsoever.
Okay.
I need to send them an email with your ID number and request that they send me back any traffic fines that they have on their system. The same with Durban.
Oh, okay.
As strange as that
Yeah,
may
that's
sound,
quite
Durban
strange. I
doesn't
didn't
have an
expect
online
that.
presence whatsoever. Send them an email with your ID number. If it's in all cases for Durban, it's an ID number. They send me the fines, and then we can address the fines from there. Where there is an online presence, we work with, as I said earlier, with the official service providers
Right.
to the traffic authority. So whether it's Orto, whether it's one of the other 3 service providers, we work with them directly. We don't work through, as you said, a third party and a third party and a third party
Right,
to get the information. So essentially that's countrywide, and then vehicle licenses are countrywide. The only limitation that we have on vehicle licenses currently is are buses. Buses
Okay.
more than 3.5 tons, that has to be done every 6 months.
Okay.
So they need a COF, a certificate of fitness, twice a year, and license renewal twice a year.
Okay.
So those have to be done at the authority. For Gauteng, we can do it. For outside of Gauteng, I have a guy in Cape Town that can assist with that and so on. But that's changing as well. In the next couple of months, we will be able to do those as well.
Right.
But
Okay.
For the individual or the company that has normal vehicles or even trucks, we can do countrywide because those are done annually. And the limitation with the RTIA system at the moment is anything that has expired or is expiring in the next 2 months, 2 months. So at this point in time, I can look at end of March and end of April. License expires and I can do it now.
All
and
right.
it gets delivered to you way in advance, so
Oh,
you
okay,
know that
that's
it's done.
good.
So essentially 2 months before it expires, you can have your new license disc.
Oh, that sounds so much better,
So
man.
put it on and you're sorted for the next 12 months essentially until
Right.
we can do it again 2 months beforehand.
Oh, that's great. So, yeah, that I wanted to ask you that question as well. So it sounds like you focus on individuals and commercial
Yes.
alike.
Yes.
So
it
tell me a
doesn't-
bit about fleets. How do you usually work with companies?
Fleets, we go and we look at the fleet itself. We look at their specific requirements as far as the number of vehicles that they have in their fleet.
Right.
I had a phone call this morning from a fleet or a guy that was just appointed as fleet manager, and they don't know how many vehicles they even have that's registered on the company name.
Wow,
So I said, okay, this is what we can assist. We can get a list of vehicles on the company name, so we know there's 50 vehicles, but there should be 40, so there are 10 too many. What do we do with them?
Yeah. Written
Which
off,
of-
burnt out, hijacked.
Whatever, yeah. He said some vehicles that were sold to staff members and just never got
Yeah,
registered.
it just wasn't updated, yeah.
No change of ownership happened.
Right. I wonder how wide that is, how often that happens. I would imagine.
A lot. Interesting thing about vehicle registrations, the National Road Traffic Act states that the seller should, within 21 days of selling the vehicle, notify the licensing department on a form that we call an NCO, Notice of Change of Ownership, that he sold the vehicle. The buyer must, within 21 days of buying the vehicle, go and register that vehicle in his or her name.
Right.
So normally exchange notice of change of ownerships. So I as seller would go and submit the NCO. Then I'm also not liable for that vehicle anymore in terms of license fees or anything like that. So often, every time I get to the licensing office, they tell me there's another vehicle that's outstanding license fees. Motorcycles, trailers, caravans.
Oh, yeah.
Because people sell those and they never go and submit the NCOs. Not because they deliberately break the law. They just just don't know that they should do it.
Yeah.
And they don't realize the danger of not submitting that. So the moment it's submitted, it's there.
Yeah.
You know that you're not going to be held liable 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months down the line for the license fees for that thing that you sold.
Yeah.
And you know that should there be traffic fines, those will go to the new owner and not to you.
You're right. I think also the thing is, that impending moerstrip that's going to happen. You need to go there and listen, I'm going there. What kind of a day am I walking into here? And yeah, so that's why we're talking,
Yeah,
because it's just something to get out
for
to.
that company. So we'll go and look and see. Okay, there's 6 vehicles that we need to address. Either the vehicle was sold, or the vehicle was written off in an accident, or whatever the case may be. Okay, we need to address that.
Right.
Then we go and look at their traffic fine situation. Interesting fact: if I look at all my clients, corporate individuals, the average traffic fine R523.80. That's
Oh,
the
wow.
average.
That's
And
crazy.
irrespective of whether I deal with a company that has 1,000 vehicles or 200 vehicles, that is pretty much the average. It may vary by a few cents, but that's the average of
right.
traffic fines.
amazing.
Mostly under auto, that's the average. A lot of these new rent-to-buy companies that are operational in the country, those guys on average, so if they have a fleet of 60 vehicles, a fleet of 100 vehicles, they would get around 60 fines per month.
Oh,
Whereas any of my other corporates, 10 fines per month for a 100-vehicle fleet. The
That's
guys
so
that has
interesting.
rent-to-own or rent-to-buy vehicles, those guys drive like maniacs.
Yeah,
It's just something interesting that I
Right.
came across.
no, that's very interesting
So
stats.
It's,
Yeah.
it's one of those things that if you, dear listener, are considering, or you have a rent-to-buy company, it's one of the things that you need to seriously consider is getting outside assistance with your traffic fines, because it's going to come back with a new auto act. It's going to come back and bite you seriously.
I can imagine. I'd like to get more on that new Auto
we'll
Act.
discuss
but
that,
But
yeah.
I want to ask you now. So what's the most fun? We won't mention names or anything. I know you wouldn't. But what's the most fines that one entity, I don't know, individual, commercial, has had? What stands out? Because you're a stats guy. I'm also a bit of a data guy. I like facts.
The data.
How many?
So one of our rent-to-own clients, we've done in the last 2.5, 3 years, we've done about 1,500 fine cancellations for them. Wow. The RTIA has rejected 440, and we need to do another about 800 for them.
Okay.
So that's the one. That's where we picked up the stat of 60% of the fleet that gets monthly fines.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot
for
of
you on your side.
That's what we do. Instead of you having
That's a lot of inputs and outputs there.
a lot of admin that goes
Yes.
with that, because every representation
Right.
goes with a form that needs to be signed by the proxy of the company
Proxy.
in front of a commissioner of oaths, stamp it, sign it. So yes, it's a lot of work that needs to go in. And the interesting thing is, when I upload it onto the Arto website, it cannot be bigger than 400 megabytes.
Oh,
The
man.
file that I've uploaded. Normally, if you scan the 2 pages, 2 gigabytes.
Yeah.
So it's way too big. Sorry, 400 kilobytes, not megabytes. 400
right.
kilobytes. If I scan it, it's 2 megabytes. So
Right.
it's
But that's that's
very
that's-
small that you can.
And so
I
now,
scan
now
it
you
at 300
struggle with, you
DPI.
can't take a photo and things. So
Correct.
now
I
you have to look at ways of doing this.
I scan it at 300 DPI.
Okay.
So that's it's a terrible scan.
Yeah.
But that's all I can do to upload it.
Wow. That's insane. And now,
So-
now you get software to do the compressing and all of that.
But they don't compress it enough. We've
Right.
done that.
So you-
They don't compress it enough. So I've done all the steps.
I've done
to see
everything. What do I need to do?
But coming back to your question, Peter,
Yeah.
in 2 individuals that we dealt with last year, both of them, it's very interesting. 115 fines, approximately 72,000 Rand, each of them. And we cancelled all 115 fines for both these people.
Individuals.
2 individuals, a guy and a girl.
All right. They don't know one another.
They don't know one
okay.
another. The one
Imagine they were in
one
the
is
same
in Cape Town,
household.
the one is here. The lady used to be here. She's now in Cape Town. We cancelled all of that. So instead of paying 71,000 Rand or 72,000 Rand for the fines, it cost them 11,500 Rand to cancel 115 fines.
That's
That's
insane.
a nice saving.
Look, that gets you out of the hot water
Yeah.
And
I mean,
how, if I may, I know I can't hold you to it, but how long more or less did it take to get that?
So it took us to get all the documentation signed and everything. Took a bit of a while, as I said, because it has to be signed in front of the commissioner
all
of
that.
oaths
And then
all
obviously,
that.
you have so many. First thing that the average.
So imagine signing 70,
Yeah,
115
of course.
forms. Your hand gets a bit tired.
Yeah.
So we assist them with that and get it done. I think it took us about 9 days to upload all of
Oh,
that.
that's crazy. I mean, I
So
was
not
thinking like
full time.
I was thinking a couple of months or something to get sorted.
No. We
That's
don't have a couple
insane.
of
I
months.
mean, I think of things like that. If I were that person, first of all, shame. I have the shame of how the hell do I explain? I'm going to say I've got 15, or I don't know.
Yeah.
And see what they come back with. And then they come back with
Well,
100
a lot of people
and something.
don't know. A lot of people don't know. The lady contacted me and said, I can't renew my driving license card. I'm blocked.
Okay.
How can you assist me? So we started with those first, that she could get her driving license.
All right.
And then we did the rest.
And then saw the.
Yes.
That's crazy.
So we saw everything up front. But for her, priority for her to get a driving license or
Was to
driving
get those-
license renewal,
Right.
or card renewal, actually, because your driving license never expires.
Right.
It's one of the myths that driving licenses expire. License doesn't expire. A license can only be revoked by a court order.
Oh,
So your card
Okay.
expires,
right.
but your license is still valid.
Okay.
But
That's really
nonetheless,
interesting.
So we started with the enforcement orders to do revocations of the enforcement orders. Those were, I think, 18, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest were all just infringement notices or courtesy letters that we cancelled for her. The guy's detail, I cannot remember exactly what the stat was in terms of the number of enforcements or courtesy letters
Okay.
or infringement notices. But a significant saving. We're busy with a corporate client as well. The outstanding traffic fines roughly about 75,000 Rand, and we can it's going to cost them 15,000 Rand to get them all cancelled.
That's crazy stuff. That's crazy stuff. I love that you're here and we're talking about this because this is definitely something that stands out that people can use.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's lots of people sweating bullets, no more nails. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can
And
get it sorted out. You can get, and it's only going to get worse.
It is.
It's going to get
worse
very
with
tough.
Under the new regulations with the Auto Amendment Act, it's going to be more difficult to cancel the fines.
Okay.
Because they've changed the time frames. There's a lot of changes that goes with that. But there we can assist you to get the fine in time that you can pay the fine. If it's not a fine that you're going to dispute, pay the fine and get your 50% discount. You know,
Okay,
that's
right.
already a significant saving.
Yes, right.
Number two, if you're a corporate client, receive the fine in time that you can do the driver nomination.
Right.
Because for corporate entities under the new auto regulations, there are always demerit points going to the vehicle. So in terms of demerit points, demerit points are either awarded, if that's the right word. I don't know
Okay.
if something that penalizes you is an award, but
Okay,
so
right.
it gets allocated to the ID number
Yeah.
of an individual.
Okay.
But for a vehicle that's registered in a company name, the demerit points goes to the vehicle. So if it is a company owns the vehicle, there are always demerit points, whereas for an individual, your cheapest two fines, your bottom two fines, 1 or 11 to 15 kilometers an hour over the speed limit,
Over the speed
or,
limit, okay.
16 to 20 kilometers over the speed limit, has zero demerit points, although there's a monetary value.
Right,
But
yeah.
there's zero demerit points for the individual. But those two fines does attract demerit points on the vehicle license number or the registration
okay.
number. So at all times you need to do driver nominations for company cars, because if your company vehicle, if the demerit points on the vehicle exceeds 15, the vehicle is taken off the road officially for a minimum of 3 months, and it's 3 months for every point above 15.
Jeez.
So very
That's pretty
quickly, those
intense.
things can run up to 9 months that the vehicle is taken off the road.
Yeah.
If you're caught driving a vehicle where the vehicle was taken off the road, the driver will immediately be arrested. and has to appear in court, the proxy of the company will immediately be arrested and has to
Right.
appear in court, and the vehicle will be impounded, and immediately another 12 months suspension will be added to whatever is there already.
That is
So there are a
insane.
couple of interesting things as far as that is the demerits and so on is concerned.
Right.
We'll still see how that's going to
How
work.
that's going to work.
So if it's a vehicle, you'll receive a notice, or a specific ARTO number is attached to the notice. I don't recall the number at this point, but you will receive a notice. You need to remove the license disc from the vehicle and hand it in at the licensing office. They
Okay.
will then give you a receipt to say you've handed in your license.
Right.
And then once your suspension period is over, you'll receive a notice. And we assume at that point in time, you will have to do a license renewal.
Right.
They're not going to give you back your old license. In terms of driving license cards for us individuals, you'll receive a notice to go and submit your driving license card. And our assumption, once again, it's not mentioned anywhere.
Right.
The assumption is that you will go and collect your driving license card once your suspension is lifted. But we'll see how that's going to work out in practice. Driving license cards, I'm not too worried that it's going to go missing because when you applied for a new driving license card, they keep it in their storage facility in any event until you collect it. So they should be able to manage that properly.
Okay.
License discs, it's a piece of paper that's going to go missing fairly quickly, fairly easily.
Yeah.
And that's why I assume that driving vehicle license discs, you'll go in and do a renewal to get a new disc once your suspension is lifted.
Wow. Yeah, that's some interesting
The bad
stuff.
thing for motor vehicle dealers is it's going to happen. I can guarantee you now, when I cannot tell you, but it's going to happen, that a dealer is going to register a brand new car as a demo model, and they're going to receive a notice to say this vehicle is, the license is suspended, and that vehicle may not be used, may not be advertised, may not be sold, may not even be on the showroom floor.
Oh, wow.
The same with pre-owned vehicles. I can guarantee you that's going to happen. And then they're going to jump up and down and say, but we didn't know. Ignorance is not an excuse.
Right.
They have to nominate the drivers of the vehicles to ensure that the vehicles don't get the demerit points.
Okay. So then how would a dealer then do that in the best way?
The best way would be they have the records of who drove the vehicle.
Yes.
They for staff members or for loan vehicles, they should have proper record keeping.
Right.
To
Or
know
they'll have
exactly.
one person, for example, that's now nominated, and then that like the
Usually that happens,
sales
but
manager or someone. Or,
someone needs to manage it.
Because
What happens
I mean, they
often in a
demo
dealer,
vehicles or something like that.
So demo vehicles usually is allocated to a salesperson or to the sales manager or the dealer principal. They use it.
I hope.
But in general, it's a generalization.
Right.
People tend to drive fairly carefully when they're doing a test drive of a vehicle, a demo drive. I've had a few cases where people drove like maniacs. That I thought, geez.
Yeah.
Am I actually gonna arrive back at the dealership? But
I've had one of those as
luckily, in 10 years that I was a sales executive selling different brands of cars, only once that it happened.
Okay.
The rest of the time was actually quite chilled and not too bad. Then, but the challenge for the dealerships, to answer that question specifically, Peter, is a lot of dealerships, there's a lot of people that drive the vehicles, salespeople, admin people, if they are allowed to, drivers. So the driver would just grab a key, get in the vehicle and go somewhere to do whatever, come back.
Yeah.
And no one knows which vehicle that driver used at which point in time.
Right.
So that's something they're going to have to manage.
They have to. Yeah.
Each department will have to manage their department and the drivers for that department, whether it's a salesperson, whether it's an admin person, whether it's a driver.
Right. They're going to have to
delivery
tighten
driver
up
or a
on
general
that
driver
process.
to know exactly who drove which vehicle at which point in time. If there is a traffic fine, that the driver can be nominated. Because when we do a driver nomination, it's actually an affidavit that you make.
Okay.
So you declare and swear that the information that you put on that form is correct, is factual,
accurate, and all of that.
So you cannot thumbsuck and say, "Oh, Peter drove the vehicle." Meanwhile, Johnny drove the vehicle.
Right. Exactly.
And once you've done a nomination, you cannot revoke it, and it cannot be changed to a second person. So I cannot nominate you and then nominate Johnny after that.
All right.
So it has to be done correct the first time.
Okay, and do you help with things like that?
Yes,
You're
that's
like
part of our
consult
service. Yes,
Oh, is it?
It's part
Okay,
of our
that's
service
great.
that we do the driver nominations.
Wow, headache away.
Yeah, another set of forms that need to be completed and uploaded with a clear copy of the driving license card of the person.
Okay.
If the driving license for that specific person, so let's say he drove a 10-ton truck, but he only has a Code 8 license. They're not going to do the nomination.
Yeah,
the proxy of the company will be held liable for that fine because he's supposed to make sure the proxy of the company is actually a very important role in the company. People think it's just there.
It's very
It's very important. In terms of National Road Traffic Act, a proxy is deemed to be a director of the company, has the same responsibilities as any of the officially appointed directors of the company, and he's responsible for everything that happens with the vehicles. So a proxy is a representative. If a vehicle is overloaded, you often get these trucks on the weigh bridges.
Yeah, you see that.
The proxy is responsible for the overloading. If a vehicle is unroadworthy for whatever reason, the proxy is responsible. Not the fleet manager, the proxy is responsible.
Oh, wow.
So, the proxy needs to be sure that whoever drove the vehicle is fit and proper to drive that vehicle in terms of does the driving license code that he possesses correspond with the vehicle that he's driving. One of the interesting things. And it must be clearly legible. They must look at the photo, and as I said, the quality of the scan already is crap. And they must be able to see, this person has a EB or a C1 or whatever license, and that the license is valid. The license card must be valid. If the license card is not valid, they will reject it.
Right.
And every rejection costs currently 200 Rand extra.
Jeez,
and then you can't redo it.
Either you can rack that up pretty quickly.
So it's very important to, when it comes to the administration of the traffic fines, that it's done correctly.
Updated, record
very
keeping.
Easy, if you have a 250 Rand fine, you submit the representation, they reject it because the reason that you've given is not
not how it should be. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Add 200 Rand. So your 250 Rand fine suddenly became 450 Rand because it wasn't done correctly. And we've seen it quite often.
That's crazy.
People do representations with incorrect information or information that's not acceptable, and it gets rejected and you're liable to pay. Sorry. It's the way it is.
Wow. And so you focus mostly, just to get it right, South Africa. Are you looking at doing anything, collabs or anything like that, cross-border?
Only South Africa.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting talking about collabs or foreign things, if I can put it like that. Is most foreign vehicles do not get traffic fines. They're supposed to, but where are they going to find that truck that comes from Mozambique or wherever? They're supposed to get fines, but they never do, or I've never seen one. Let me put it like that. So if they do, I've never seen one.
Right.
And then also foreign drivers are in a bit of a sticky situation because they don't have South African driving license cards. So even expats that's here for 2 years that drive around. I'm not talking about embassy staff members, which is actually working for the country of origin. But it's one of the more difficult things that needs to be treated with carefully. So we deal with South African companies, South African laws. Just makes it a bit easier for me as well.
It sounds like you've got it under wraps, and you're very well versed, and you've got empirical insights and all that stuff. So it just makes sense to keep on going with that.
I've done so many auto courses, and every time there's an update in the regulations, go and do the course to know exactly what's written there. When the new regulations came out last year, did another course that I can be sure that I can advise my clients.
You're the
properly.
guy. Yeah, exactly. We're going to you. And sorry for that, but you've accepted that, and you're ahead of the curve, which is really great to know. And that's
I
great
can't-
peace of
I
mind.
can't give you a load of BS and
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. I mean,
it's like selling ice to an Eskimo in the middle
Yeah.
of winter. He's not going to come back and buy
Yeah,
ice because
yeah.
he doesn't need it.
Yeah, right,
So I need to
exactly.
give you the correct advice and advise you according to what the act states and what the regulations state,
Mm.
that we remain within the law to assist you as best we can without it costing you a fortune.
Right.
Yes, there is a fee that you're going to pay for whatever we do,
right.
but it must be affordable, number one, and it must make your life easier, number two,
Yeah, yeah.
or make your life easier, number one, and then cost you a few
That's
rands
it.
without ripping off your arm and a leg.
Yeah, but I mean, that peace of mind is just worth it all day. You know, it's getting sorted out,
Yes.
and it's been done legit, and all of those things. I mean,
Correct.
that's a great.
Talking of
Feeling,
legit, I mentioned the company earlier, and I won't mention their name.
Yeah.
Let's not name and shame. Not them. I haven't seen that they've done it, but there are other companies that when they say they will cancel your fine, and all they do is they put in an application to be represented in court, or you apply to be tried in court.
Okay.
So I look at the fines and I see, this client has 50 fines, 40 of them, the status is elected to be tried in court. So all of a sudden, if you go and look at one of the 3 official sites where you can look at the fines excluding auto, it shows nothing. There's no fine. So you think you're
Okay.
in the clear.
Oh,
But
okay.
meanwhile, those are all, if the prosecutor gets a hold of that, Peter says, I want to go to court for 40 traffic fines. Then you receive a summons. You need to reappear in court for 40 traffic fines and go and please and explain what's happened. So you've paid that company or that entity or that person to,
that.
assist you,
Right.
and they've
And
gone
that
and
last
said,
leg.
this person elects to be tried in court. So it makes the traffic fine zero, but the fine is still there. It's not cancelled.
I think that's even worse.
So at some point it may happen. I'm not saying it is going to happen,
Yeah.
but it may happen that person is going to receive a notice to say, listen,
Yeah.
please make yourself available to come and sit in front of a magistrate and explain yourself.
For sure. There are definitely people, companies, service providers, whatever. I'll say it because, I mean, you see it in so many different sectors that see an opportunity and they bite off a little bit more than what they can chew. I'm not saying it's intentional, but they'll get into that thing and they have a list of people that they can help and all of that, and they could maybe miss that, and then they rack up all of this frustration from these people.
Yeah. So it's just one of the things, when you do choose a service provider, I would love for everybody to come to me, but I cannot. We simply cannot manage 15 million people's traffic fines and license. I'd love to, but it's not possible. It's just not possible.
That's so
It's
difficult.
way too much work for any one company to do. There are a number of good, more than just a number. There are a fair amount of good service providers.
Yeah.
So just make sure that your service provider knows what they're doing, that they can get done what they say they can get done, and send you the proof. The old saying of the proof is in the pudding.
Yes, exactly.
There's a screenshot of, you can see it's your vehicle registration number. It's not as if this is a fake thing.
Yeah.
It's a screenshot or a photo from what I see on the screen to prove that it's been cancelled, to prove that it's been submitted.
Right. Okay. So tell me a little bit about because you got a system, a software system, an app, and all of that stuff, all of these features that you're working on currently, and all of that. So what are you, just in a nutshell, what are you trying to achieve? Obviously, with this big load.
Yeah. So for our corporate clients, Peter, it's actually an individual can use it as well.
Okay.
Especially if it's someone that does a lot of driving. Obviously, the more you drive, the bigger the chance of getting a traffic fine.
Right.
It just happens, and it's not always intentional. I've seen it. Where you just lose concentration for a couple of minutes, and you drive 71 in a 60 zone, and you get a fine.
Well, I had one some years ago coming down Joburg where the Golden Highway is. And you go down a downhill bend, and somewhere right there, as you're coming down, you pick up a little bit of speed. So in other words, when you get to that road, you should brake before you get to the bend, because it's a bend and it's a downhill, and there's a camera right there.
But,
and I think that's a printing machine,
Oftentimes, as I say, you lose concentration for a minute, or you get distracted for
5
whatever
or 10
reason.
or 15 k's
Cell phones are terrible. They're great things, but they're also terrible because they do distract you.
Yeah, that's another thing that's very concerning.
We shouldn't be using our cell phones while driving. 99.9% of people, including myself, have done it. So,
now you make me, I also have to say that I did it. Can't leave everyone hanging like that.
I prefer to, so my cell phone
I try and do everything I can, Bluetooth, whatever,
So my cell phone is on silent because I wear hearing aids. It rings in my ear, but any messages that come through, I don't hear.
Okay.
I need to physically pick it up to see if there are any messages that I need to attend to, which is great when I'm driving. Frustrating for people that's looking for me maybe because I don't answer immediately.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I can wait a couple of minutes until I come to a standstill.
That's it.
But distractions, you miss a signpost, speed change,
right?
100 to 80 or whatever the case may be, and you miss it. Or what we found nowadays as well, often we see that a signpost is missing.
Yeah.
I drove in Pretoria last week. There was a huge athletics meeting at Pilditch.
Mm-hmm.
So drove up the street and said, no, this is not going to work. There's buses and coaches and cars and everything. It was the top tier schools that had their annual athletics meeting.
Athletics, yeah.
So I hook a right, go down the street, and there's a T-junction, turn left because I want to go that side. And there's a signpost that says, I need to go right. So I turn right in the way of oncoming traffic. So the signpost is turned by 180 degrees.
Yeah, there we go.
Instead of pointing to the left,
so
it pointed to the right, and I had to quickly
someone laughing behind the bushes there.
I don't know what happened, but those are the kind of things that
exactly. You follow the sign.
So it's not intentional.
Right.
I followed the sign.
Right, yeah.
So you miss the sign, or the sign's not there, and you don't realize that the speed limit has changed, and you get a fine. It's not intentional.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's quite interesting. That happens quite a lot, actually. Great, yeah. So I think in terms of what you're working on, do you want to say anything about that?
Yes. So we are busy finalizing. We're about to go full-on testing in the next week or two.
Okay.
It's what we call traffic fine admin system.
Okay.
So it's just a system where we will upload the fines for our clients. They can go and look at the fines and then tell us what we need to do on from their side. Do we do nomination of driver? Do we submit a representation? Do we pay the fine?
That's
once
amazing.
It's there, it goes into a pending folder. So both client and we can see what's sitting pending, and once we've addressed the fine, it'll go in a finalized folder. So once again, client as well as we can see that it's been finalized and it's done.
Oh, I love that.
On that platform, we'll also have our subscription service, any reminders that you need. So your vehicle license expiry, you can put it in there. Your driving license card, you'll receive
2 months
a reminder.
from now or something like that.
2 months before it expires, you'll get a reminder.
Oh, nice.
Use our service, use another service, that's great. It's just about reminding you. Make it, you don't have to worry that you have to remember, or you don't have to make a note. I know my wife makes notes. Car license expires.
Yeah.
So that's their passports, firearms, anything that expires that has an expiry date, we can put in there.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. So good. To back up a bit, you're saying like firearms and things like that?
Because your firearms licenses are valid for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, so you can actually you can provide a thing where you basically manage that for an individual. Put in the date
and you'll receive a notification 6 months and 2 months. In case of firearms, we start 18 months prior, just because of the time that it takes to get a firearms recertification. Okay. So we make sure that there's enough time for you to do that. Driving licenses, we do 6 months. Vehicle licenses, we do 2 months. Passports, we do 6 months. IDs don't expire, luckily. So there's a specific time frame for each of these things that you need to renew at some point in your life. That you know that it's done. Once again, experience. Last year, my wife said, "Listen, we're going to Brazil." Ah, delightful. Where's your passport? Damn, it expired the previous year. It expired in 2024. So we can't book anything. I needed to quickly make a booking for myself to go and do and renew my passport. Luckily, the banks are brilliant. Went to the bank. It took me 20 minutes to do my submission for application. A week later, got an SMS and 5 minutes to go and collect my passport.
Wow, that's crazy. Brilliant. Yeah, I know you.
Brilliant.
Helping everyone else now and then, forget about yourself. It's noble.
Sometimes I need to help myself as well.
That's it, yeah. Yeah, that's crazy stuff, man. All right, so you do work in the firearms renewals processes, all that?
It's just a...
Okay, so
because
that's
very specific. You need to go and do a certification with an accredited entity to do your certification, but the reminder.
Right, so what I like about it is at least that it's an important process, or part of the work that you can actually get some help to manage.
Just a bit of assistance to remind you.
That's it.
You have guys that has a lot of firearms,
Exactly, and you have the
collectors, and the guys that shoot for sport or professional hunters. They have a lot of firearms, and they don't necessarily all expire at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
So just a reminder to say you need to go and do this, or you need to do that, or whatever the case may be.
Right. So this would be also your platform would cater for individuals, companies, all of that, right? Okay, that's great stuff.
hassle-free.co.za.
Okay.
We did cover quite a bit.
Yeah, thank you for
I know there are a lot more that we can cover, and I'm sure you have a lot more questions. But any listener, anyone who watches this or listens to this and do have questions, email address, let's use willem@willemleroux.com. I always say the other Willie Leroux. So they don't confuse me with our fullback, our Springbok fullback. Willem@willemleroux.com, my email address, my cell phone number 083-442-4663, and that's for any phone call or WhatsApp message. Send me a message, send me an email with your questions, and I'll answer it to the best of my ability. And any questions that you have as far as traffic fines are concerned, or want to get more information. I mentioned the guy that I spoke to earlier this morning. He said he'll send me an email just to request specific information as to exactly what it is that we can assist him with. So get a list of vehicles, check for any arrears licenses, check for traffic fines, and then start the process to manage that, to make sure that they're in the clear and that they don't have to worry. And then we can go from there, go to the reminder service. Your license expires. Let's do the license renewal. Here's a new traffic fine. Who drove the vehicle? Let's nominate the driver.
Okay. That's great. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. I actually think that I hope, and so I hope this happens, and it's kind of going to be a little bit of fire for you, but I think then you're going to get something that works with it. But a lot of people that are, that are going to reach out to you, That would be nice, because
I always tell people, please drive slow. I'm shooting myself in the foot, but just drive a bit more careful. I don't want another person to be in a situation where they in serious trouble. I had a phone call one day from a guy. His son and my youngest son was in class together, and he phoned me and said, "Listen, can you assist? I was arrested yesterday, and I need to appear in court." And I said, "She's no." I can give you our attorney's detail, so he can assist you.
Right,
but from my side,
it's a bit after the fact. Jack, what do you?
But still, Anton did manage to assist him, so that he didn't get because he drove, I think, at 170 and 120 zones.
So you have a bit of legal service that you can assist with too,
as far as traffic fines are concerned. Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, we can.
That's great. Awesome. We ended on yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
I love it.